Yes, man has solved the problems of living under the sea. With his fins, mask, and portable air supply, he can be a fish among fish, but a thinking fish, endowed with the human capacities for wonder and enjoyment of this never-never water wonderland. This is exciting. This is beauty. This is romance with nature. But sometimes it can be hazardous. A broken strap, a lost face mask, nostrils exposed to the water and eyes deprived of their picture window, all the ingredients of panic. But they do not panic. These are experienced divers who have been trained to cope with such hazards. They know what to do and are calm and self-assured. This is the Los Angeles County Certified Diving Training Program. The Los Angeles County's Parks and Recreation Department has pioneered this program to promote safety in scuba diving. Intermediate students learn the essential points in the physiology of diving.
Yeah. Well, I would like you to know 4 points: the cause, the symptoms, prevention, and treatment of each diving disease.
This is a must to understand the causes and prevention of diving diseases. And in the advanced class, they get instruction in the care and use of scuba gear.
Make sure that the weight belt goes on outside of all the other equipment.
Test and retest, practice and more practice, until fear and panic melt away with the knowledge that even with a lost mask, one still can breathe through his mouthpiece. And it's easy to clear the flooded mask. Buddy breathing, sharing air from a single unit. A handy talent when one diver's air supply is depleted. You know, this could be the start of a beautiful relationship. A popular diving club outing. This is where well-trained divers, regardless of their background or calling, find pleasure, excitement, and adventure in the sea. Sightseers, cooks, photographers, biologists, in a holiday spirit, all of them look forward to extending their interest in the cool depths of that wonder world beneath them. They are about to meet the sea on its own terms. Yes, this is fun. This is the fastest growing sport in America. And no wonder, for the well-trained, confident diver finds in the sea a feeling of weightless exhilaration and endless adventure. Yes, diving is for you. But before you dive, learn your limitations. Be sure to get certified diver training instruction. Your local dive shop or county parks and recreation department can tell you where and when.
Actually, the pressure exerted by air, when measured at sea level, is great enough to hold up a column of seawater 33 feet high. Venting this tube allows the water to flow out, which, when collected and weighed, amounts to 14 7/10 pounds. In other words, a column of seawater 33 feet high, which has a cross-sectional area of 1 square inch, weighs 14 7/10 pounds. Counterbalancing this weight or pressure is the pressure exerted by air, which of course must equal 14 7/10 pounds per square inch. This value is referred to as 1 atmosphere of pressure. Combining the pressure of air to that of water at a depth of 33 feet gives a total of 29 4/10 pounds per square inch, or 2 atmospheres. At 66 feet, the total pressure is 44 1/10 pounds, or 3 atmospheres. Each addition of 33 feet of seawater increases the pressure by 14 7/10 pounds, or 1 atmosphere. These total pressures are called absolute pressures. Furthermore, the pressure at any depth is exerted equally on a point. Air, like all other gases, has this property. It exerts pressure, which keeps the water from running out of this tube. It exerts this pressure equally in all directions. Furthermore, this air pressure is even transmitted. Air and water react quite differently to the application of a weight or pressure. With each increase of pressure, the air volume is reduced, but the water volume remains unchanged. In fact, water can withstand a pressure of more than several tons per square inch before showing any appreciable change in volume. This incompressibility of water, coupled with air's readily compressible nature, is the basic cause for all the mechanical problems. Let's carry out another experiment. Here is a 1 cubic foot container with rigid walls, open at one end. When this container is held at the surface of the water, its air volume is 1 cubic foot at a gauge pressure of 0, which equals, of course, an absolute pressure of 1 atmosphere. Now, let's go below to a depth of 33 feet. Here, the gauge pressure is 1, which means an absolute pressure of 2 atmospheres. The air in the container is now only 1/2 of its former volume. Going down still further to 66 feet, the gauge reads 2 atmospheres. That is to say, an absolute pressure of 3 atmospheres. The air volume is now 1/3 of a cubic foot. Continuing down another 33 feet to 99 feet, the gauge pressure becomes 3 atmospheres, which is equivalent to an absolute pressure of 4 atmospheres. The air is now reduced to 1/4 of its original volume. More closely, we find that when the absolute pressure of the air is doubled, its volume is halved, while when the pressure increases 3 times, the volume becomes 1/3 as large. This inverse relationship between the absolute pressures and volumes of a gas is known as Boyle's law. Thus, when a cubic foot of air, or any gas at atmospheric pressure, is subjected to an absolute pressure of 5 atmospheres, its volume reduces to 1/5 of a cubic foot, condition that would occur at a depth of 132. The air we normally breathe exerts an absolute pressure of 1 atmosphere. At this pressure, air supports combustion readily. That is to say, it contains oxygen sufficient in amount not only for burning, but for sustenance of life as well. How much oxygen is in the air can be approximated by this simple experiment. As the burning candle uses up the oxygen within the inverted container, the water rises to take its place. When the flame goes out, the water level reaches the 4/5 mark, proof that about 1/5 of the air is oxygen. The remaining 4/5 of the air's volume is nitrogen. Its absolute pressure is now 1 atmosphere, because the rising water compressed the nitrogen until its pressure equaled that of the outside air. But when this volume of nitrogen fills the entire container, as it did at the start of the experiment, its pressure is only 8/10 of an atmosphere. Since the nitrogen in air exerts a pressure of 8/10 of an atmosphere, and air a pressure of 1 atmosphere, the difference, 2/10 of an atmosphere, is the pressure exerted by oxygen. These values are called partial pressures. These are the symbols for nitrogen and oxygen. The gases in air exert pressure because they are composed of billions upon billions of infinitesimally small particles, called molecules, which are always in motion. Each time a molecule strikes the container, it exerts a force or pressure against it. The pressure we read on this gauge is a measure of the total force exerted by all the molecules that strike the container at any instant. 1/5 of these molecules are oxygen molecules. Therefore, the pressure they exert is 1/5 of the total pressure, or 1/5 times 1 atmosphere, namely 2/10 of an atmosphere. Since 4/5 of the molecules are nitrogen molecules, the pressure they exert is 4/5 of the total pressure. In this instance, 4/5 times 1 atmosphere. That is 8/10 of an atmosphere. From this, you can see that the partial pressure of each gas in air is obtained by taking the part each gas is of the total volume and multiplying it by the total pressure. Now, let's compress the air volume to 1/2, so the total pressure becomes 2 atmospheres, as you would expect from Boyle's law. Since 1/5 of this reduced volume is still oxygen, and 4/5 of it nitrogen, their partial pressures now become 4/10 of an atmosphere and 1 6/10 atmospheres. Changing the total pressure of air, or any other mixture of gases, changes the partial pressure of each gas in the mixture. But here's another way to change the partial pressure of a gas. The number of oxygen molecules is now only 1/10 of the total number, or in other words, its volume is 1/10 of the total volume. Therefore, the partial pressure of oxygen now becomes 1/10 times the total pressure, here 1 atmosphere, or a value of 1. The rate of ascent determines the rate at which the nitrogen dissolved in the tissues and blood is released. This can be demonstrated by a simple experiment. The liquid flowing over the glass beads has been exposed to nitrogen under pressure until the pressure of its dissolved nitrogen equals the pressure of the surrounding atmosphere of nitrogen. Decreasing the pressure of the surrounding atmosphere of nitrogen slowly, that is to say, a slow rate of ascent, the nitrogen dissolved in the liquid enters the surrounding atmosphere without any visible evidence of its release. But when the rate of ascent is fast, notice the bubbles of nitrogen that form in the liquid before escaping to the atmosphere. Here is further evidence of the formation of these nitrogen bubbles in the blood of a frog, which has been rapidly decompressed. Notice how these bubbles in the blood vessel can block the flow of blood. The formation of such bubbles of nitrogen in any of the body's tissues or blood is known as decompression sickness. These bubbles interfere with the blood circulation as well as press upon nerves. Decompression sickness occurs whenever the ascent is too rapid. The symptoms of decompression sickness may range from pain in the arms and legs to collapse with unconsciousness. Decompression sickness is a most serious condition that requires immediate care to prevent permanent damage and let's explore the interaction of air and water pressures. This gauge measures the pressure exerted by the air inside this sealed cylinder. This other, the pressure of the water on the cylinder. Understandably, both gauges now read 0. Below the water, notice that the elastic sides of the cylinder are being pushed inward more and more the deeper we go. Also that as the water increases its pressure against the cylinder, the air inside compresses, so its pressure always equals that exerted by the water. To restore the cylinder to its original volume, more air under pressure must be pumped in. But notice that the pressure exerted by increased volume of air still equals the pressure exerted by the water. In other words, to keep air in a flexible container from changing in volume, the pressure exerted by the air must always balance the pressure being exerted against it. We have also seen that as the volume of the air in the cylinder decreases, its pressure increases.